What's going on, guys, and welcome to another edition of the RPO College Football Podcast. I'm your humble host, Jerome Jones, and I got my man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Ray Roberts. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, Jerome. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. We got a little delay for some reason, so if you guys see us kind of like taking our time talking to each other, it's a little delay. It's kind of weird. I'm not sure why, but we're gonna manage with this, and we're gonna try to do what we can with what we got. But I'm always glad and happy to be here with you, Ray, and talk some football. If you guys haven't seen our last couple of episodes, we've been talking other prospects or going into the NFL. Um, 2 weeks ago, we did the quarterbacks. Last week, we did running backs. So now we're going to do the wide receivers. I'm excited about this because this is a deep class. Before we get to our top five, Ray, overall, what is your thought about this wide receiver class, and do you think this compares to some of the other ones the last few years?
I think it doesn't have the top three guys for last year were all like special players, but there's a lot of depth this year, just like last year. The last couple of years have been a lot of depth at wide receiver.
100%.
Again, last year you had Chase, Waddle, and Devontae Smith, and they were like, even though there was good depth last year, those three were like, I think everybody knew they were better than everyone else in the draft. So,
No, 100%, and I totally agree that there's no clear cut number one guy. You're gonna probably see I think our top five is going to be completely different because, like we said, there's no completely top tier guy. So I think everybody kind of got a lot of good receivers, and there might be a receiver that fits better in one offense than another, or a better complementary receiver to another team or whatever like that. So I think that this receiving group again is it's a good group. You got a lot of depth in it, and you could get a lot of good quality receivers, but there's no clear cut guy like a Jamar Chase last year that I was really high on. So let's get into our top five right now, Ray, and we're gonna talk about some of these receivers that we are looking at. Again, we're gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just like each week. Starting with Ray, your number 5 in your ranking.
My number 5 is Drake London from USC, a 6'5", 210-pound possession guy with a great catch radius. And I think he may be the top possession guy in terms of being just a possession type of guy. I think he's the best guy at that in this class. But I think, again, a good football player. USC struggled last year on the offensive line, so the quarterback and wide receivers didn't have as good a year as they did the year before. But I'm a big Drake London fan, and I think he's a really good football player. So,
yeah, Drake London. A little teaser. I'm gonna have him a little bit higher on my rankings, but I think he's a really good player. I'll talk about him a little bit later on my list when I get him. But for me, I'm starting to be like you, Ray. I'm starting to get a little bit more like you. I got a 5A, 5B, and I feel bad about it because now you're not doing it. So I think that's pretty funny. But 5A, I got John Mechie. Before his injury, he was looking like one of the best receivers. He's very fast. He got great hands. Route running can be a little bit better, so we're gonna see how that goes in the NFL. But he reminds me of the receiver you guys got last year, Ray. Blank on his name, but he's in the same school.
Waddle?
He's actually bigger than he appears.
okay.
Waddle. He reminds me of Waddle definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
He definitely reminds me of Waddle. And it's same school, obviously. I think he's bigger than Waddle, if I'm not mistaken. But I like him there. 5.
I don't think his 40 times going to be as good as Waddle, but
Yeah, I definitely think he's slower. He's gonna be a little bit slower, but I agree with that. 5A, I got another speedster. I got Dehan Dotson. He was actually supposed to go to the Senior Bowl. I wish he actually went. He is he's the guy I'm looking at. He was better than the receiver that went to Denver from the same school, Penn State. I think he's a lot better than him. Blanking on his name as well, but I think that he's going to be a guy that you need a speedster. You want a T.Y. Hilton kind of guy. I think that's going to be your guy right there, Ray. What do you think about my two guys?
No, I like them both. I think I had Messi right outside my top five, just like Dotson. I think T.Y. Hilton is a good comp for him. And I think we should let people know when we say comps, we don't say they're going to be that guy. We say they play similar
Yeah.
types of to that guy. I like comps. Not
Mhm.
everybody does. And then some people think, oh, you're saying he's going to be a whole. No, let's pump the brakes.
No.
We're saying schematically, scheme wise, they play similar. They have similar attributes about their game. We're not saying they're going to be this guy or that guy. We're saying their games remind me of each other. That's all.
Correct, and exactly right. Right, put on the nail on the head. We definitely think that they have similarities and it's reminding. And I'm terrible at comps, but like it's just like little things that remind me of certain players. That's why I kind of go by it. So
I like that comp though. I think it's a good
don't
one.
take. Thank you.
I think that's a good one.
It. All right, Ray. You're number 4. Who you got there, sir?
I have Traylon Burks from Arkansas. I think that you could call him a possession guy because of his size, but I think the speed combo that he gives you is going to make him a little bit better than just a possession guy. I think the floor is he's a good possession guy. The ceiling is he can be way more than that. So,
and that's the thing about I got him at 4 as well, so we do match that player at the same spot. I agree with you, Ray. The ceiling is very high, and that's why I think I see him at a lot of mock drafts. I think he's going to be a receiver, at least going to be solid. I don't think he's going to be a bust. We'll see how that goes.
right.
Evaluate things wrong a lot of times, and a lot of situations, teams and coaching and how all that goes. That all goes into it as well. Injuries, but I think that he's at the very minimum is going to be a solid receiver. I mean, you get and then a guy like that, I would want to get him in the first round. Definitely, he's a big body guy. I'm definitely want to see where he runs in the 40. I think that's gonna make him go a little bit higher for me in my draft because I want to see. I don't think he's lightning speed, obviously, but I want to see like, all right, like I can't really judge how his speed is at this moment. So I think a guy like him, and the combine is actually this weekend, so that's gonna clarify a lot of the stuff. Our rankings are gonna move up and down, depending on how that goes. But I think I mean, again, this top 5, I can move guys all around. I mean, maybe not my 5A and my 5B, but like the top 4 guys, move them all around.
I mean, I have London and Burks at 4 and 5, but they can easily be 1, 2, 3. It doesn't really matter. It just depends on but I do think that Burks, like you said, his 40 time is going to play some newer where he's taken because he doesn't move fluidly at times. He's a little gawky, but once he gets going, the kid's pretty special. So
exactly. So yeah, definitely. All right, number 3, Ray. Who you got at number 3?
And Chris Olave from Ohio State. Again, a savvy guy. You got him at 3 too?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Again, a guy who's a good route runner, solid speed, and unlike Burks, he is very fluid. And in and out of his breaks, he does a really good job of not letting you know which way he's going to go. I mean, of course, some of that has to do with him being coached well at Ohio State. We know that. But I think Chris Olave is a nice little football player. I think he's going to be a pretty good pro. So,
and yeah, I got Chris Olave in the same spot, Ray. So that's crazy. Like I just said, our list might be completely different. We got 2 guys in the same spots. Yeah, Chris Olave, very, very talented receiver. He got a little outshined by Wilson a little bit this year, but like he kind of turned it up at the end of the year. I think that he's a guy that if you want a guy that's going to be very good at route running, solid speed, really good hands, that's your guy. That's basically this year's Devontae Smith, honestly. A little bit bigger than him. I don't think he's as good as Devontae Smith, honestly, but like he got the same similarities as him. So I like him at 3. Again, he could be a guy that can move into 2, 3, maybe even 1, depending on what team he gets to and things like that. But Chris Olave, I do like him. I thought I might have been a little bit biased putting him at 3 because I'm not an Ohio State guy. I'm a Michigan guy, so I don't like Ohio State. But I'm glad that you have him in the same spot, so I'm not as biased as I thought I was going to be.
No, I mean, like, I think Devontae Smith is a decent comp for him. Not a little thicker than Devontae Smith was. He's like closer to 290. I mean 190. But again, I think a good football player. I think if you put him in the slot right away, he'll be really productive for you. So
definitely, yeah, and I agree. Number 2, Ray. Who you got at number 2? Who's your guy there?
I have Jamison Williams from Alabama, number 2. Of course, coming off of an injury, I think. If not for the injury, he would be a top 10 pick, maybe even top 5. But I think he'll still go anywhere from 15 to 20, though. I see a lot of mock drafts having the Eagles taking him with the 15th or the 16th pick. So I think Jamison Williams maybe has the most upside of all of these guys. But right now, I have him at number 2.
So James is number 2. I wonder who you got at number 1. I can't put my finger. Oh wait, I might know, and I might not have him in my top 5. We'll see. I'm my number 2 guy. I am so much more high on this guy than anybody else. Ray, you said it, and I said it a little bit earlier. Drake London. I mean, when he's healthy, he was really, really good. And I'm not a USC receiver kind of guy because I've been burnt by those receivers before. I've seen them on other teams not play well, but Drake London, man, he got size, he got speed, he got hands. I mean, he got toughness. He reminds me a little bit of Mike Evans. I don't think he's as big, but he is a guy that if you like big guys, you like procession guys, that is your guy. He's gonna go up and get it. He's gonna do everything you need. His knee, it was his knee, his ankle. He broke his ankle. It was a little bit later in this. Mid-season, early season. So I think he's gonna be able to bounce back really soon. Where you got the other receivers that were injured. I mean, in the top 5, we got a few guys that were injured before their season ended. Messi, Williamson. Drake London was one of them. They got injured, so and he was the one that got the earlier injury. So I think once he get back on the field, he's gonna be tested. I believe he is gonna be tested this weekend. So once you see him and how he runs, I think a lot of people are gonna have him a little bit higher on their boards. I've been seeing him everywhere on mock drafts though, from late first to early first to mid first. So it kind of tells you how this wide receiver class is going.
Again, I like him. I think again he's going to be a good possession guy. And you say he has decent speed. Again, he's a little stiff though, kind of like Burks, where he doesn't move fluidly. He doesn't have great body control. But if you ask him to go down there and be a red zone target for you and a possession guy, I see that in Drake London again. Like, man, you put him in the right system, he's going to be a good player, I think. So,
hey, put him on the Eagles offense. He's going to be our Alshon Jeffrey, man. That's why I would love him on our offense. He'd be our Alshon Jeffrey for me. So, I'm a Eagles fan, by the way.
Is he going to be a rat too?
A what? A rat?
A rat. Don't like rats. Don't like it.
Oh man, Ray.
And you're going
on that, man. I love it, though.
Man. I was a big Alshon Jeffrey fan, but when you go into the locker room, what happens in the locker room stays in the locker room, and apparently no one told him that. So, again, good football player.
Yeah.
You don't badmouth your teammates, and you especially don't do it in the media. So,
especially
and
with
we
a
know he did
quarterback
it.
like that.
What's that? Yeah, and
Yeah,
we know he did it.
yeah, we all know. I
We
mean,
we all
it's
know.
clear. It's clear.
It's like
All
whenever
right, Ray.
everybody tells me there's a somebody in the Dolphins locker room who's talking and we don't know who it is. Yeah, we do. It's always the cornerback. Always, okay.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
always the same
All
guy.
right, let's get to our number one.
Okay,
Oh, it is. It is.
it is.
Get to our number one guys, right? Who you got on your list as your number one receiver, sir?
Garrett Wilson is number one.
I
Again,
thought so.
great body control, good solid speed, good hands. If there's anybody who reminds me of Jamar Chase in this draft, it's him. So
Mm. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. I won't go that far with him. I didn't put him in my top five. Again, I don't know if I'm just being biased because of being
yeah, we
a
do.
Michigan guy,
It's like when people
but
say,
he was
"I'm
literally.
not." God,
No, I was gonna say I just had him just under like at six. I literally had him at six. There's, I mean, I think what you were saying, right? He does got potential to be a really good receiver. There's some things that I feel like he's missing though. I don't think he's as fast as people might think. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being
I mean, I
biased. But go
don't
ahead, right?
know. I mean, I can't wait till we see what happens in the combine. I don't disagree with you that I don't think that it's when people said Jamar Chase wasn't fast last year too. It wasn't that he's not fast. It's that sometimes he seems to take off plays until the ball's coming to him, and that is true about both of them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely, definitely. So we'll see, we'll see. But I'm gonna get to my number one guy. My guy is Jameson Wilson. Ray, you had is it Williamson or Williams? Williams, right?
Williams,
Um, you had him at number one. Yeah, okay, sorry.
I do too.
Jameson Williams. His first name. Yeah, his first name confuses me. But yeah, I had him at number one. You had him at number two. He's a really good guy. He's just coming off an injury, which again, this is why I say it can be switching off back and forth, whatever, because he's just getting off an injury. But before he got off an injury, he was definitely the best receiver in college football last year. And he was a transfer. He went to Alabama and won the number one spot very quickly. The only thing I have against him is that he's kind of a 1 year wonder in a sense. So I want to see it. It kind of scares me when they're like that. Like Chase, you have Devontae Smith, even Waddle. They've been productive for multiple years. Where Jameson Williams is kind of a 1 year wonder, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, it can translate. I mean, there's a reason why he went from Georgia to Alabama, and Alabama accepted him. So there's a reason for that.
Of
Alabama's not
course,
going to just pick up anybody and make
he's
him their first number one receiver.
he's very talented, and I think what you saw is if you pair him with a good quarterback, he's going to be really good. I could have put Williams one. I thought about it over and over again. The fact that he only had the one big year kind of made me park him in it too. Again, I think he has the most upside maybe of all of these guys, and we saw
I
that
agree.
he's a good route runner. He's got good speed. He moves very fluidly. If it shook out that he was the number one wide receiver in this draft, he won't be drafted first. I don't believe. Maybe partly because of the injury. But if he were going to be like if 2-3 years from now, 4 years from now, you're like, oh, Jameson Williams was the best quarterback. The best wide receiver in this draft. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh yeah, at all, definitely. So
No,
I
not
definitely
at
agree
all.
with that. But yeah, hey Ray, I love your list. That was a great list. Me and you have some differences with the Ohio State receivers, but that's again, I might just be biased against
I have
that.
no bias, though. That's a good thing
Yeah,
about being rooting for a team in no conference. I don't have to be biased.
yeah, no, you're right, you're right. But let's get to some other players that are in this draft, and we're going to talk about some sleepers. So sleeper receivers, these are receivers that maybe not anybody, like not a lot of people are talking about, or that need to be talking about this player a little bit more and showing success. So Ray, I'm gonna start with you. Who who is your sleeper receiver of this draft?
Well, I'm gonna I don't know, disappoint you or excite you this time. I have two guys as sleepers right now. I don't really have an A and a B. I just
Hey,
have two guys. I have Jalen Tolbert from out South Alabama, a 6'3", 195 guy, good football player, small school receiver, obviously with big time potential. And I have Calvin Austin from Memphis. We talked about him over and over again. I think if you put him in a motion offense, he's going to be a player for you. Let him play special teams for you. I like both of these guys, which talks about the depth. I think the Tolbert could go in the second or third round. I think Calvin Austin is a fourth round talent. There you go. Fourth round. I think
there you
Austin
go.
is a fourth round talent who may go a little bit lower than that because of his size. People are not – some people are looking at like 5'7" and go, oh, we can't. But he's a talented football player, man. So
Ray, you got him at 5'7"?
5'7". 5'7",
I had him
165.
9, so wow.
He's listed at
Okay, I had him
5'9".
5'9".
But when he went to
Yeah.
the thing, he was 5'7". The Senior Bowl,
No, yeah.
5'7".
No, he looked that small. He
Yeah, he's
definitely looked that
5'7".
small. I seen him.
I think 5'7",
Yeah.
5'7" is giving him a little bit, to be honest with you.
Because he's tiny.
He is.
He is very tiny.
He's
right?
tough, and he runs great routes, and he's got upside with speed, and he's everything except for his size. He's a total package.
Yeah.
But the size will turn.
Yeah, he runs some good routes. He runs some good routes, right? And he was so tiny. Like there was a lot of taller cornerbacks at the role, and they could not touch this guy. He's so small. He's so quick, and now his breaks so well that like he was getting open all game. Not only just all game. I really like Calvin Austin. I have him as my sleeper as well, as I just showed you guys. So I was actually happy, Ray, that he had him on there. Yeah, but seeing him at the Senior Bowl, I was just like, man, this guy is like somebody's gonna grab him, and they're gonna be using him in every spot they can, in the slot, outside, inside. They might even fit him at running back just to flare him out or something like that. He's gonna be a guy like. I love what Memphis is be doing with their receivers and running backs. They do so much different things with them, and he's a guy that you can definitely do a lot with him in the NFL.
I agree with you. I think that if I would worry about him playing against physical corners in the NFL right now, but if you put him, let him play in the long side of the field, run him out of the slot, maybe get him in motion, make people have to react to him as opposed to the other way around. I think that he can be a playmaker for you. I think he's a good football player. So he'll get traded by somebody. What's that?
No, I think he's gonna dominate physical corners, right? Like if you guys don't know, I played semi-pro football. I played cornerback. I was a more physical cornerback. The guys like him with I hated going against guys like him. Not only that he's fast, not only that he really good in his route running, but like he's small, so you barely can put your hands on him. Like if they're under me, and it's hard for me to put my hands on him. I think he's going to dominate the physical guys. I think it's going to be the speed guys that are going to be a little bit more equipped to play against them. But the physical guys are going to. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think the physical guys are going to have it.
I don't even mean like guys that are just physical. Like I mean, like if you have like Xavier Jones from Miami, Byron Jones from Miami, they would shut him down because he would come up, put his hands on him, and he wouldn't be able to run by him. He would have a hard time with a guy who can play some press, but also is a good athlete. He's going to struggle with them guys unless you put him in motion.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's going to be fun to see him in the NFL. I'm gonna like. I hope the right team grabs him because he's an exciting receiver that it's going to be fun just watching him. I'm telling you.
It is. If you run an offense where you use multiple receivers, that is a perfect offense for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that like if you move him out, put him in motion, where teams have to react to him and they're not sure where he's going to go, then he's going to be dangerous. If you try to put him on the short side of the field, I don't think he'll succeed there right away. I don't. So
I agree. All right, let's get to our next topic. It's going to be small school receivers. Now, these are receivers that go to small schools that maybe not getting the hype, but we're gonna give them the hype right here. So, Ray, who you got as your
Well, for one,
small
we
school?
could have used Calvin Austin for one of them too, or I
Mm.
could have used Jalen Tolbert as my small school receiver, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go even with smaller schools than that. I'm going to give you DeJohn Dixon from Nicole State. Again, a 6'4", 200-pounder, a guy who doesn't have great speed, but is very fluid athletically and has long arms. I think he's going to be a nice football player. I think even a guy from Nicole State will probably get picked in like the 5th or 6th round. I think he's a really good football player. And I have Kashad Cohen. I have two of them too from St. Andrews College. Again, a 6', 200-pounder who runs good routes, who, if you ever watched him play, he reminds me of of uh who's the kid for the Eagles.
JJ Thurgood Whiteside.
No, I got somebody
Oh, Renegade?
somebody that can play. No, no, not Deshaun Jackson. Who played with him?
Oh, Jeremy Macklin.
Jeremy Macklin. He reminds me a lot of Jeremy Macklin, dude. Really does. And
Mm.
of course, he's playing for, again, he's playing at St. Andrews College. So he's a small town player, like a guy who plays in Division III, but a good football player with a really good, very smart, knows how to play football. I really like him.
Definitely. I got a small school guy. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be weird to kind of call him a small school guy because that school been getting championships. But they in the FCS, not the SBS. So I'm gonna go with my guy Christian Watson. Everybody, if you've been watching me or you watching me since the Senior Bowl, I fell in love with this guy, and I hope some type of way the Eagles get this guy. He got good speed. He's 6'5", and he's gonna run. Like I'm telling you, he's gonna run really well. He got great hands. Route running could be a little bit better, but he's not a terrible route runner at all. He got toughness. He got the swag about him. He's gonna go up there and get you. Like he's a guy, man. I'm telling you, whoever gets him, and they got a good receiving coach, man, they're gonna love Christian Watkins. I know it. And he's rising up. He's rising up a lot of mock drafts. I'm seeing too.
Yeah, I see him. He's a mid-round pick. I thought about using him, but like you said, North Dakota State, it's hard. It's almost hard calling that a small town school right now because they're good
Yeah.
so often. But I mean, he does play at a smaller school,
Yeah.
so he fits that criteria. And again, I think he's a good football player. I have 30. I wrote a list of 32 wide receivers. I think 30 of these guys will be drafted. I do. I do. I think
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
a
definitely,
crazy
man.
deep round. So you always get on me about corners, but wide receivers are the same thing to me. They're like the little pretty flowers on the outside once you build your team. That you just add them later on.
Yeah.
I
No, seriously, and like obviously, there's so many nowadays. Like there's so
yes.
many spread offenses in the not only just college, but NFL now. So you're gonna need receivers, but it's always it feel like it's just the class is just getting better and better.
Well, that's the thing. Like I don't like. Of
So
course,
yeah.
you'd like to have the best player you can, but you need to have depth at wide receiver because teams throw the ball all the time now. So
Definitely. All right, I'm gonna pose this question to you, and we do this every week. So, who are the teams that should be drafting a receiver in the first round? Um, I'm gonna name a few guys. I've named a few teams, and you can just tell me, hey, This should get one in the first round or not. So, I'm gonna name a couple of teams that I think gonna need a receiver. Not necessarily it's their biggest need, but could get one in their offense. So you got the 49ers, we got the Bears, we got the Bills, we got the Bengals. I'm sorry, not the Bengals, the Buccaneers. We got the Chargers, we got the Chiefs, the Colts, the Dolphins, the Eagles, Packers, Patriots, Raiders, Saints, Texans, Washington, and Titans. So out of those teams, Who you think should get one in the first round?
Miami, Philadelphia. Um, Buffalo needs wide receiver depth. They don't need to take one in the first round. No, I don't think. I don't think Kansas City needs to take one in the first round. Them two teams, of course, because I'm close to them teams. I live in the Philadelphia area, and I am a Miami Dolphins fan. Miami has one reliable receiver on their roster, same as the Eagles. So they're the two teams that should draft. At least consider drafting one, if not in the first round, very early on. So,
yeah, definitely with the Eagles. I mean, I'm opposed to that. I'm just tired of keep throwing pennies into that penny machine for the receivers, and
I
it's not
understand.
out. And I get it. Like we just got one that worked out.
You have one competent receiver on your whole team, and he's a second-year player.
No, you're right.
Miami's the same.
I'd rather go the free agency route.
Not for wide receivers, dude. I'm not overpaying that guy. If you were, you're in a little bit of a different position than Miami because you're in the NFC East. If you add depth to your team, you may win the division, or at least you'll be right there in the. Mm-hmm. I don't think Miami is close enough to Buffalo where that guy will make that difference. I'd rather still draft a young guy. And right now,
but
you've been drafting the wrong guy, is what you've been doing. Last year, finally, you got the right guy. Yeah. Let's help that right guy out with another guy that can play next to him.
Definitely.
Washington,
Chris,
yes, and Saints.
Chris says Washington, Saints, and Philly.
I agree.
Definitely do it. I think the Saints need one. I agree.
But I don't. I think Washington. But they have two good receivers in Washington already. I like.
I know there's Scary Terry, but
I like him though a lot.
Curtis Samuels.
Yeah.
Curtis Samuels.
Yeah, they have.
We'll see. Curtis Samuels might be a good guy. Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying
I just think.
I don't think Washington needs a quarterback for one. First and foremost, they're not, and I don't know if they'll draft a quarterback in this year's draft because I wouldn't do it in the first round. And if they took a wide receiver, if I were them, I would take a defensive back in the first round if I were Washington because they need a corner because they don't have any corners. Their defense is solid up front, so I could see them taking corner. If they take a corner or a wide receiver, I think that would be okay. I just don't know if, again, Washington, they're not winning their division, so what is the point? They're not winning that division, dude. They're not. They're not. Until they figure out the quarterback situation.
Chris, I agree. Oh, yeah, 100%. Chris, I agree with you. Watkins, Quez Watkins is a good receiver. I do think he's a number 3. I think you can stretch the field with a guy like that. We do need a number 2 guy. I just don't want to keep trying our chances, man. We've been doing it year after year after year.
You have 3 first-round picks.
Get a veteran in there and use those picks at somewhere else.
You have 3 first-round picks.
I know, but I'd rather use it for defense. I'd rather use that for defense. Our defense is starting to get old. We're starting to get some players that we need to revamp in there. I'd rather use them for defense. I mean, I'm sorry. I might be the minority on that, but I just can't see us. I just don't want to see us keep trying to.
So if Jamison Williams is there, if Jamison Williams is there at number 16, you're not taking him?
It depends who's there. Most likely not, but it depends who's there too. Like even one of my favorite guys, Drake London, if he's there, I would want him at 19 if he's there, but I'll still think about it. I would want to trade back if he was to do something like that, honestly. Like, I wouldn't stay there at 19. I wouldn't want to get a receiver early. I mean, even in the teens with if we get a receiver. If you're going to do that, I want to trade back and then get that receiver if you're going to do it in the first round. But I'd rather not. Chris also says Demi Brown is better than Curtis Samuels. They need a quarterback out of most of them. I do definitely agree with that. Garrett Wilson or Trey Burks would be perfect for the Philly. I agree, but again, I don't want to get a cry in the first round. I'll pass on Williams. I'd rather have someone be ready week one and someone's being injury red shirt. I don't think he's gonna be a complete red shirt. I think he's not
He's not.
that removed from his that
He's not.
far removed.
He's
I
not.
think
He'll
he'll
be
be
fine.
ready by. You don't think he's
Well,
gonna
I
be ready
mean,
at all?
I think the Burks would go better with Devontae Smith. I do. I think that together
Yeah.
those guys could be really good. But I think Burks is a little bit more developmental. That's all.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. I mean, again, I don't want a first round guy. If we're gonna get a guy and if the Eagles, I'd rather us wait to the second round and get somebody like Messi or I don't know. I just feel like you get other receivers later. Christian Watson again, third round. I mean, I don't think we need to get somebody early to get a good receiver in this draft. That's just what I'm thinking. And then why do that in the first round and we can get other positions that we need, especially on defense. That's just what I think. That's just me. Maybe, like I said, I might be the minority on that, but that's just how I feel about that.
I just think that like now, if one of them wide receivers there and David Ajabo is there, I probably would take Ajabo because you do need an edge rusher really badly. So
100%, 100%. All right, let's get to wide receiver fits. Now, this is gonna be wide receivers that fit on certain teams. So Ray, I'm gonna give you a team. You're gonna tell me a receiver that you think fits for this team, and our audience can agree or disagree. So, Chris Thomas, thank you for being in here. You definitely weigh in on this. I think this is a cool session. I love doing this with Ray. Pin him on the spot a little bit. So we're gonna do this. First team I'm gonna pin on there is the Chicago Bears. Obviously, Allen Robinson might be leaving that team, so they need a guy, maybe a number one guy. They might trust the other guy. Forget his name, but
where does Chicago
who do
pick?
you
You know,
think? Chicago. Ooh, good question.
I'm
I
looking at my
think
list.
they're right where the Eagles are. So I'm gonna say, or wait, do they have a first round pick?
They don't have a first round pick. They don't have a first round pick.
Yeah. So obviously they don't have. Yeah, that was they got that from New York. I mean, they gave it to New York from last year. That's what
Yeah.
it was. So, Ray, now
So
that
I'm
now
gonna
that, now that we cleared that up, they don't have a first round pick. Who are you putting in that spot right
I'm
there?
gonna give him Johan Dotson from Penn State. I think he'll be there in the second round. I think he's a guy that can help them out on special teams and
Okay.
as a receiver.
Okay, I like it. Chris says you could stay in the same. You could say the same for defense. It's deep draft for pass rushers, linebackers that you can get starter in the second round. I agree with that, but like there's still so many holes for us, and I think we need a guy on defense. Like we haven't had the a guy. And I proposed a trade last week to Ray. So if you haven't seen that, definitely look at that on Inside the Hatches on YouTube. Watch our last podcast. You can weigh in on my trade scenario, my trade prediction for the Eagles. But I think that I would love for us to get a defensive player first because I just think that you have a better hit rate there where wide receiver you already have an A guy, so you just need a guy to fit with Jalen at that point. I mean,
Problem with the
Devontae
Eagles
Smith.
is their number one need on defense, besides an edge rusher, is a linebacker, and they never draft linebackers in the first round. So
No, I know, I know. I'm just saying what I would do.
I mean,
That's what I would do.
I've been
That's my
seeing
suspicion.
some. I've been seeing some drafts where N'Kobe Dean keeps falling, and I don't understand why. But if the Eagles could get him, they have the 19th pick.
He's smaller. That's why.
Dude, he's smaller,
I
yes,
wasn't there.
but he does everything on defense. Everything. He can rush a quarterback.
Oh,
He
yeah.
can drop in coverage. He's not a great run defender, but a solid run defender. He gets there and he makes tackles. I mean, I don't understand the reason why people don't like him. The kid, he's a leader. He's smart. I mean, tell me the minuses. Oh, he's a little bit slight. Okay. So put 10 pounds on him. We'll be fine. I don't understand why he's
Hey man,
falling.
anybody can be
I
a
hope
great
he
quarterback.
falls all the way to number 29,
Yeah,
baby.
and
Let it happen. Okay.
and I would dude, I'll take him at 19. And the thing is too, the Devin, not Devin Bush, but the other one, Devin White. Devin White was a smaller linebacker, and he's killing it in the NFL right now.
Yeah, and
So
people overthought it on him too. Oh, is he going to be able
yep,
to hold up? He looks pretty good. So
yep, I agree. I agree. All right, let's get to the next team that we think is gonna be a fit. Let's do the LA Chargers. Who you think will be a good fit there? They might be losing
LA,
Mike Williams, so they might need another target there.
you know what? That's a little different. If they keep Mike Williams, I think they could use a speed guy. I'm going to go Justin Ross for them from Clemson. Not are you talking about a first round pick or in a
Yeah,
draft?
I mean, just a good fit for him in general.
I think Justin Ross from Clemson would be good for them.
Nice, nice. I like that one. I like that one. All right, let's go. Indiana Colts.
Indianapolis Colts. Well, that's a little bit tougher. I'm trying to see where the Colts pick.
Yeah, because Ty is getting a little bit
They don't
older,
have
and they don't
they
have a
don't
first round pick. We
they
got
don't have a
the
first
first.
round pick.
Yeah, we got the first round.
So if they're going to draft somebody in the second round, that's really hard because after that first round receivers, you're going to have to get guys that are a little bit not quite as established. Um, how about a David Bell from Purdue? Good football
Ooh,
player, nice possession guy, has some pluses to him. I don't know how fast any of these guys are right now. I know it's
mhm,
being reported as speed, but I don't believe anything I hear until the combine. So, but I
mhm.
like David Bell. I think he'd be a nice fit, and
Yeah, that'd be really
he's a
good because
second round player. So,
oh yeah, he'll be a good pairing with Michael Pittman. I think I really like Michael Pittman, and wow, I just realized that's another USC guy I like. But I really like Michael Pittman. Obviously I like Drake London a lot better than Michael Pittman, but I think Michael Pittman is a guy that you can use and utilize and have as your number one guy. But I do think he needs a pairing, and I think David Bell would be a good pairing for him for
I like
real.
David Bell because he plays like has good speed. Well, what I really like about him is how fluid he moves
Mhm.
around the ball, and he makes guys miss
Yeah.
once he gets the ball in his hand. So I think he's a good player. So
Yep. I think so too. All right, we're gonna get to your Dolphins. Who you think your Dolphins can pick, sir?
Miami has a 29th pick, dude. I don't think they're going to take a wide receiver in the first round. I'm pretty sure they won't. But
Mhm.
if they were going to take one in the first round, I would hope that a Traylon Burks would be there. I think him and Waddle would be ideal together. I think that would be
Mhm.
great. And a big target for Tua to get the ball to. Someone who can be what Devontae Parker could be if he wasn't always hurt. So
Definitely, definitely. I'm going to skip over the Eagles because we kind of went through a lot with the Eagles already. But let's get to the Packers because they could be losing Devontae Adams. But even if they don't lose Devontae Adams, the Packers fans have been crying for another receiver to pair up with him. Who would you pick for the Green Bay Packers?
that's a little tougher for me because they do have one stud receiver, and he's a bigger
Mhm.
guy. I mean, he does a little bit of everything. I'm going to go with a maybe a John Mechie for them, a guy who's a good route runner with enough upside as a speed guy, good size, and a guy who I
Yeah,
think could coming off of a little bit of an injury plague season. I think he could round that into a number one receiver down the road. I think he would be really good.
no, I agree. I like that fit. That's cool. All right, let's get to like one or two more. Let's get to the New Orleans Saints. They might be. It's a lot of lot of rumors that Michael Thomas is not going to be their guy anymore. They might even trade him or cut him. Who are you picking for them to replace him or even pair with him? Because they still need another receiver right there as well.
I think a Chris Olave would be good for them. I think he's a good route runner. He has enough
Mm.
speed as a plus guy. I don't think they're going to draft a wide receiver in the first round. I think they have. I think the New Orleans may be a team that jumps on a quarterback in the first round. But if they could get a Chris Olave
Yeah,
and
no, I
a
was literally
young quarterback, I think that would be a great move for them.
no, I agree. I was literally just thinking that too. I was just like, well, who's going to be their quarterback? I mean, I know they got Jameis Winston. I think he's still, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's still in the contract. But still,
He
even
is.
if you keep him, you need somebody else in there.
You need someone to bring again.
Got you.
Again, like
Okay, cool,
the
cool.
one
All right.
mistake that I think the biggest mistake Miami made, even when they had Ryan Tannehill, is never bringing anybody in to compete with him. I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're
No, I
bringing a
agree.
guy to
I
compete
agree.
with him
All
and
right.
a young
Let's
receiver to
do.
go with it. You're in good shape.
I agree. All right, let's do the Las Vegas Raiders. Obviously they got Waddle as their number one guy. Underneath they got Hunter Renfro, who's a really got slot guy and a route runner. But I think they need somebody. They need an it guy. Who's gonna be the it guy, Ray?
Again, I think the Raiders need defensive help. I think they need defensive line. I think that's where they'll go in the first round. But in the second round, if they want to go wide receiver, this is going to surprise some people. I think this is where they take, I would say Johan Dotson, maybe. I'm going to go
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Tolbert, my kid from South Alabama. I think he's going to be a really good football player. I
Oh,
think people are going to be surprised by how good he's going to
I
be.
agree. No, I agree with you, Ray. Yeah, I would have thought they would probably want to get such though that it didn't pan out as far as like legally. But he was a guy who was looking really well with them with Derek Carr, and he looked like he was gonna do some stuff. Obviously, some legal, stuff, and the issue that he had off field. But I just think that Derek Carr was thriving with him. I mean, he was. It's like they would get somebody a little bit more similar to him, maybe like a Meshy,
I mean, I think a
maybe.
Joanne Dotson could be good there too, but I already gave him to somebody else, so I can't give him to two players
Yeah,
or two teams. So,
yeah, that's true. I got you. No, I got you. I got you. You're right. No, you're right. You're right. But yeah, I think that. But that's gonna do it for us today, Ray. Any last things that you want to say real quick about this class or anything else?
Well, again, I think it's really deep class. I have up to 30 draftable type players, some small school guys, some guys that everybody knows. I think that if you need a wide receiver in the first 3 rounds, you're not going to have any problem finding them. Just make sure you do your homework. This is why I tell teams all the time, or I say about teams all the time, I should say, do your homework and you'll find a good player. Don't reach for guys, though. Okay, that's where teams make their mistakes. So.
Yeah, definitely, 100%, 100%. So that's gonna do it for us today, guys. Man, this is gonna be fun watching these receivers run. I think that is Friday. No, is it Thursday? I think it's Thursday. Running backs, quarterbacks, and wide receivers on Monday. I mean Thursday.
Yes,
Tomorrow.
sir.
If you're watching this live, it's tomorrow, Thursday night. So it's gonna be fun seeing how everybody does. I'm glad they're doing it at night now, so I can really watch it and relax and get to watch everything. But yeah, I know me and Ray's probably gonna be tweeting each other the entire time, looking at some of these players. It's gonna be really cool. So good luck to everybody that's out there. And that's just gonna do it for us on the RPO podcast. Make sure you go check us out on all our social media, insidethehashes.com. Also, make sure you watch it. Check us out on all our social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I do want to say this before we get off too. We have been just hacked on our Instagram account. So if you guys see any messages from Inside the Hashes, we apologize. It's not us. Please don't answer that message. We are trying our best. It's hate to delete it or start over. So we're trying our best to get it back, but please don't. If you see a message from Inside the Hatches, it's not us. So please don't answer that. They are hacking other people that are on our account. So please please do not engage in that. We will make an
I mean,
announcement if or when we get that.
I mean, I would say this: if it doesn't sound like it came from inside the hatches, like something we would normally put out there, then it's probably not us. That's all. I mean, I think
Yeah,
we have,
yeah, yeah. And
we have
as inside the hash, we always
I think we have respectful guys that kind of do
Darren?
their homework. If it doesn't sound like the respectful guys that did their homework, then again, it probably wasn't something that came from us. That's all.
Definitely, definitely. And we always come in professional, and we wouldn't just come in with a yo or anything like that. So please, if you do get a message like that, please don't, engage in that. And we are sorry if you did get in there. If you have already, you can hit our ITA support email, and we will help guide you try to get your account back and things like that. But again, don't indulge in that. But all our other social medias are definitely good, up and running. We're clearing that. We got extra security on each one now, so we won't get hacked on those as well. So check us out on each one of them, especially our website, Inside the Hatches, where we got all our content, uh, everything you need football, player interviews, blogging, we got gaming, all that stuff, all on InsideTheHatches.com. Also, make sure you check us out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify, so you can listen to a lot of player interviews that we have and the players that we interviewed that are going to the draft. Some of them are in the combine right now, so please go check it out. Inside the Hatches on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. And that would be it for us. Also, right there, there's the email. Even though it says just finished, but there's the email. So I'm gonna put that back up there. If you need to contact us again, it's ITA support at insidethehatches.com. If you need any help with anything with the getting hacked and stuff like that. So guys, thank y'all so much once again. I'm Jerome Jones. That is Ray Roberts. Thank you guys again. Hope you guys enjoy your combine. We will be back next week. We'll be talking tight ends. I know our boards are probably going to be changing because next week is going to be after the combine. So our board's going to definitely be changing. Shout out to our guy Isaiah Likely. I think he's going to do phenomenal this week. So definitely check guys like him out the entire weekend. And thank you guys for checking us out. Make sure you go on our YouTube channel, like and subscribe on there. Also, if you're doing the replay, so if you replay a game, go on there, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can find us on there live. And if you want to put a comment on there, we will answer your comments on there as soon as possible. So we love interacting with you guys and talking with you guys as you shoot from our live contestants like Mr. Chris Thomas. So once again, thank you guys for being on. We see you next week. I hope you have a good weekend. Peace out.